Alright, want to get started in a little bit. Just want to make sure all my stuff is working well. Hitting these go live buttons. How's everyone doing today? If you have any questions regarding digestive health, just put them in the comments below. We're going to cover a lot of content. Every single time I do these presentations, I make the presentations a little bit better. And it's a great practice to help myself explain things a lot better for myself and also for my audience. I'm just checking the different streams. I appreciate y'all for jumping on the call. And my name is Sean. I talk a lot about detox, talk a lot about how to get your body right. Now, you're not going to get it done just doing the same thing you've been doing this whole time. You got to change things up. If whatever protocols you're doing right now is not working, you need to try something new. If you continue to do the exact same type of things you've been doing the last couple of years, and you still continue to struggle, you're not going to get to the bottom of this. So let's take a quick look. Today we're going to talk once again on digestive health. And if there's a little bit of background noise, oh well, this is part of the game. Over here, this is an alimentary canal. Most of the time when you're looking at human physiology, you're looking at this picture in regards to the digestive health. Now, I just want to share with you guys, there's a much simpler way to look at this photo. Some people may look at this photo, they may become very intimidated. They say, well, what am I really looking at? There's so many pieces, so many components. Well, I'm just going to talk about the digestive system. We're not going to talk about all these other organs. That will come later. I will do other presentations that will cover this. But right now, you got to get used to looking at this photo, and we have the same exact picture. Doesn't matter where you're coming from, what type of education background you're from. When it comes to the digestive system, we're all the same on the inside. Food enters your mouth, down the esophagus, into your stomach. You have your digestive enzymes right here, breaking down the food. And eventually, this food is going to enter your small intestine. The small intestine is very long. It's 4.5 meters, followed by your large intestine, which is another 1.5 meters in length. Altogether, you have 6 meters of pipework. Now, I want to share this picture with you guys. It's much easier to take a quick look, a quick glance at the digestive system. Just look at it as a very long piece of pipework. You're eating food down the esophagus into your stomach. Then food is going to get partially broken down here, and over here in the small intestines, this is where the pipe begins. This is where nutrient absorption begins. And there's so many components to the small intestines as well. There's so much to learn. I'm going to continue to broaden this knowledge in my future presentations. Nutrient absorption takes place in here. And eventually, all that waste material, all that food is going to turn into waste material in the large intestine. The large intestine is 1.5 meters in length. And what you eat through your mouth, it must exit out the back as elimination. Now, a lot of people cannot perform this basic function. What I mean by that is chronic constipation or constipation to some degree. There's so many people keying in constipation online, and they do not have to resolve this problem. You can see over time, this search volume has never contracted. You may be searching constipation in the English language, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, Japanese, Tajik, Arabic. I don't care where you are. You're putting in constipation in some language. And This is what most people are experiencing. A lot of people, they're just huffing and puffing on that toilet bowl, but when they get out on the back end, it might be some sheep pellets. Okay, there's nothing coming out. And people are very frustrated as a result. They don't know how to fix this. When elimination is incomplete, residues of old feces can build up in layers on the walls of the colon. As they putrefy, they can cause health problems, pain, and discomfort. This is a picture of your large intestine, and your old poop is accumulating inside the large intestine. Chronic constipation is like this. People, they have a lot of waste material sitting in their large intestine, and they need to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. And that's what I'll be teaching today. Today I'm going to cover a lot of material. I'm going to cover a lot of other diseases that may be related to chronic constipation. Oftentimes when we're presented with particular disease or symptoms or medical condition, and when you go to the doctor, you ask them, well, what is the root cause of this? What's the root cause of that? You may get this response that is just very, very, I would say, unclear. Oh, we don't know what's really going on. It could be in your genes. This is running your family. This, that, and the third. Coming back to this picture, we always want to come back and take a good look at this photo. And every single year, you want to come back to this photo and learn something more. Learn something more about your physical body. Learn about the other organs. And that's going to broaden your understanding how your body works. Because it is a system. We go from cells to systems, and it could be understood. And there's a mechanical component to this. What happens if you do not resolve chronic constipation? Well, the waste material is not exiting out of the body, and you may have something called a toxic megacolon. What is a toxic megacolon? Now, they extracted this out of a human body. This is not some animal. This is not zoo. This is not a zoo, okay? Toxic megacolon is a life-threatening complication of inflammatory bowel disease. These diseases can be painful and cause permanent damage to the large and small intestines. IBDs include ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, and infections caused by this other colitis. Toxic megacolon is characterized by swelling and dilation of large intestine due to the inflammation and accumulation of large amount of gas. My friend, there's going to be more than gas inside of this colon. It's toxic waste material that people had a very tough time getting rid of out of their body. As a result, more waste material is packed over time. What other things could happen if you have chronic constipation? You could have a colon that is severely displaced. This is a lady in Taiwan. She was only 23 years old. She went to the doctors and they did a scan on her. You can see that this colon has displaced very, very. So when we're taking a quick look at the colon, it's coming back to this picture. This is the ascending portion, the transverse, and then down, okay? This is the shape of your colon if it's healthy and it hasn't been displaced. Her colon is all over the map. You can see it's coming up here, and then it comes down into a loop. Now it goes back up again. Now this thing is up in her chest, like in her lungs, pushing against her lungs. I would not be surprised if she had problems breathing. Then it goes finally down for elimination. The problem is that when she is standing up, because of how her colon is displaced, this waste material has to fight against gravity just to push up against this section and finally down for elimination. What other problems potentially happen when you have chronic constipation? You may have something called diverculitis. Diverculitis is a gastrointestinal disease. Okay, so it occurs when pouches called diverticula start to form the GI tract and become inflamed and infected. This condition commonly occurs in the Western population and can be seen in 10% of people over the age of 40 and 50% of people over 60. That's a lot of people. That's millions and millions of people over 60 years old. The rate of this disease typically increases with age. Scientists believe that this condition is due to not eating enough fibers. Not eating enough fiber leads to constipation. which puts extra pressure on the colon walls, and this causes diverticula or bulges to form in the weak areas of the colon. The risk factors for diverticulitis may include age over 40, male, overweight, eating a low fiber diet, eating high fat and red meat, not enough exercise, taking non-steroidal, anti-inflammatory drugs like aspirin, ibuprofen, steroids, and opioids, and smoking. Moreover, the signs and symptoms of this condition includes pain, tenderness in the left lower side of the abdomen, nausea, vomiting, chills, cramps in the lower abdomen, constipation, diarrhea, and rectal bleeding. Now, I want to just share something, my personal opinion. Now, when I do presentations like this, I just tell you guys straight up, I'm not a doctor. I am not anything. I'm just another regular guy on the internet sharing what's worked with me in treating chronic constipation, because I had it for many years. In the last 5 years, I just no longer had it because there are protocols that I do on a weekly basis that cleans out both the small and large intestines. One thing I want to point out is that oftentimes doctors are telling you, oh, you're not eating enough fiber. That's the reason why you have chronic constipation. I want to challenge that a little bit, because let's just say if you're already compacted with so much fecal matter, you're eating more fiber on top of chronic constipation. That means you're putting more waste material inside your body. I don't know how that's going to benefit you. Just throwing it out there. Over here we have ulcerative colitis. This is another problem in the large intestine. This is a chronic condition that happens when you have inflammation in your colon. Most people with UC experience periods of symptom flare-ups, followed by periods of remission without symptoms. Signs and symptoms include diarrhea, bloody stools, abdominal cramps, and weight loss. Treatments include medication and surgery. This just kind of gets messy over time, because people, they ignore the early signs of chronic constipation. Waste material is packing in their colon, and now they go to the doctor, and what do they usually prescribe? They prescribe corticosteroids, immunosuppressants, biologics. And how these medications work is that they actually suppress the immune system, so temporarily you're not seeing the symptoms. Okay, you may have different symptom flare-ups, and they take these medications to mask the problem. That's what corticosteroids do. A lot of people, you guys got to look into. You may, in the short term, you're like, oh, doctor told me to take these meds. Sometimes corticosteroids could be prescribed for skin conditions. You're like, wow, I no longer have my skin problems that I used to have. But over time, if you start taking those medications, they start to flare back up again. And you need to ask yourself a better set of questions. What is the root cause to these problems? Something is not sitting well with my body, with my health, and they constantly have to exude or purge these toxins. What is Crohn's disease? This is another gastro disease. Let's just read this real quick. And it's part of the group of conditions known as inflammatory bowel diseases. This condition occurs when there is inflammation in the small intestine and colon. The main symptoms of Crohn's disease are diarrhea, stomach aches or cramps, blood in the stools, tiredness or fatigue, and weight loss. It is thought to believe Crohn's disease is caused due to genes, a problem in the immune system, smoking, a previous stomach bug, and an abnormal balance of gut bacteria. The risk factors for this condition include family history, smoking, certain medicines like antibiotics, birth control pills, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs such as aspirin, ibuprofen, high-fat diet. Now I'm taking a quick look at this. Now this Crohn's disease is not just in the large intestines anymore, it is also part of the small intestines. Coming back to this picture again, so you're eating food into your stomach, food eventually works its way into the small intestine. The small intestine is very, very long. It's 4.5 meters. I want to bring up another photo that could be really helpful in our understanding how the digestive system works. Okay? When we're talking about NBA basketball, the floor to that basketball rim is 10 feet off the floor. That is roughly 3 meters in length. The combined length of your small and large intestines is 6 meters, or roughly 20 feet. So you can put one hoop, this is one NBA basketball hoop, and you got another one that's 20 feet. Combined roughly 6 meters in total, and that's the combined length of your small and large intestines. This material right here and this material right here connected, that's your small and large intestines combined. This is your digestive system. I mean, there are other components to this, but if I want to simplify this, you gotta clean out this pipework. If you have a lot of problems, a lot of waste material trapped in both the small and large intestines, you're gonna have a tough time with your life, such as Crohn's disease, such as ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis. Okay. Now, when these problems do not get treated over time, you may have something called rectal prolapse. Why do people get rectal prolapse? Because they're sitting on the toilet for so long. They're pushing things out very forcefully. They're huffing and puffing on that toilet bowl. They're begging and pleading. They're praying to a deity they never prayed to before. Start to making deals. And I was listening to this comedian one time, and she was talking about she has IBD, irritable bowel syndromes, or irritable bowel diseases. And she and her husband, both of them, they have some type of digestive problem. So her name is Kelsey Cook. I was watching this last night. She was explaining the place that they lived at only had one bathroom. Her husband, he has constipation. And the doctors tell him, okay, what you gotta do is just gotta sit on that toilet and don't try to push anything out. So he's just sitting there on the toilet for a very, very long time. And for Kelsey, she's feeling her irritable bowel syndrome is coming on in the form of diarrhea. What happens is that she could just go about her day, minding her own business. All of a sudden, she has this urgency to use the restroom. Well, her husband was still on the toilet, so at the end, she had to release all her waste material in a cardboard box. That's what she had to do. You guys can look that up. You can look up Kelsey Cook and IBD, constipation, something like that. You will find her video. Rectal prolapse is a serious problem, and I think this happens a lot in a lot of elderly patients. You gotta take care of your chronic constipation early. I don't care if it's 1 day or 2 days constipation. If you don't take care of it, it's gonna go to 3 days. It's gonna go to 4 days. It's gonna go into a whole week. And you still don't know how to fix this problem. Eventually, you're gonna have something called a rectal prolapse, because a lot of old people, that's what they do. Part of their daily routine is sitting on that toilet for a very, very long time. And over time, that rectal area, the anus starts to turn inside out. And that's one of the problems why people, they have this really nasty smell or body odor. The body odor, you can't just fix it from taking showers using perfumes or even cologne. That's not going to work. When you are dealing with chronic constipation, the waste material is sitting inside it for so long, eventually all that waste material will exude or ooze through your skin. Some people, doesn't matter how often they wash your clothes, they clean up their bedding, their whole, everything about them smells. It's because of this, guys. The reason why I'm going through all these different medical conditions is because I'm just trying to solve the root of the problem. If you can fix chronic constipation early, especially if you're even a teenager, you're in your 20s, okay, you're only 1 or 2 days chronic constipated, keep watching, because I'm going to give you different protocols that could help you on your journey. And none of this professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. When people are sitting on the toilet for a very, very long time, they may get anal fissures. So what are fissures? They're just a long, narrow opening, could be some type of breakage. You just think about when there's a fissure, it's a crackling or splitting. Most people relate this to rocks or the earth, but this could happen to your anal area, around the anus. And it'll be very, very painful. Some people that have a combination of prolapse. Okay, they have a combination of anal fissures on top of hemorrhoids. External hemorrhoids, some people call them piles. These swollen veins inside your rectum or outside of your anus can cause pain, anal itching, and rectal bleeding. Many people experience this. I see advertisements for hemorrhoids all the time. There are a lot of surgeries that are available, and they're just telling them, oh, all you have to do is cut this out, patch this up, and you'll be on your way. The problem is that if they're still dealing with chronic constipation, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to continue to sit on that toilet. They're going to continue to have these different hemorrhoids, now new hemorrhoids that develop over time. Maybe you don't know what a proctologist is. I'm going to show you. There are people that they specialize in this area. It's called a proctologist. So proctologists are highly specialized medical doctors who are Proctologists are highly specialized medical doctors who are mostly called colorectal surgeons. These experts diagnose and treat conditions of the entire gastrointestinal tract, but specifically issues involving the rectum and anus. So you go see a proctologist and they'll tell you, oh, you got this problem here, problem there. And eventually all that preparation stage stuff stops working. These problems are going to keep on coming back, getting worse. You're going to have problems sitting down. You're going to have discomfort even when you're sleeping. And every single day, you are just bound by these pains. I'm going to put a little bit of healthy sense, a dose of fear in y'all, because a lot of y'all may overlook these problems. For those of you who are watching, there are entire Facebook pages on this topic, and I want you guys to look into them. And look at the pains and sufferings the comments people are leaving day-to-day basis. How much pain is going on when it comes to their chronic constipation. Here we go. Sorry to be rude, but there is a big lump of poop that won't come out. What do I do? Anyone, any ideas? Suffer from constipation now and again, especially when I have been eating crap for the past couple of weeks. I've been constipated. When I go to the toilet, nothing is coming out. Or if it does, it's hard. Also been bloated, especially upper tummy, and like a trapped wind feeling. Plus, since yesterday not really got an appetite. Try Ducoles, never really worked. Eating more healthy and now trying lactulose since Tuesday. But I feel like it's just making me fart. Also to mention, been having some stress and anxiety with family members, been in the hospital. What can I do to get my tummy back to normal? Thanks. Consult has put me on Prucalopride and glycerol suppository. Any reviews? So people are trying, experimenting different drugs that are out there. Hi everyone, had a horrible couple days. A lot of wet would come out and I couldn't push out what was behind. But after many attempts making me sore, I finally did go. What I wanted to ask is, do you ever feel queasy to your tummy because of constipation or bowel problems? Sometimes I think it's all the worrying and stress that constipation causes. Well, here we go. I'm impacted. All home remedies, OTC laxatives, enemas, dietary changes, additions, nutritional oils, quit working last month all of a sudden. The ER couldn't reach it. Listen, this person was in the ER and their enemas didn't work. The highest dosage of lenses does nothing, and the Miralax colonoscopy prep is basically overflow diarrhea. Small bits are coming off the impaction, probably the hospital enemas I got Saturday. What else can I do? I feel like the impaction is just way too big to get out, and it seems like nothing is softening enough. So all day, every day, you're stressing with these type of problems. I want to go through my social media real quick. Just check real quick if anybody's on these calls. Sometimes people have questions. I'll be happy to ask or answer. Put in your questions. Get a little bit of breather. Thanks for anybody that's actually watching this. So I do these videos because I learn a lot in the process and I want to improve upon my digestive health, and I believe the answers are out there. I've helped my own personal chronic constipation problems, and I've also helped my family members and hundreds of other people with this. But you need to catch it early. You can't wait until it's, like these guys. These guys waited for so long, and now it just gets worse and worse. And no medication seems to be working, right? And when that happens, there is a sense of hopelessness. You're not in control. Let's read another one. Hello, I've been struggling with severe chronic constipation for a couple of years now, but it's only gotten worse over the last 6 months or so. I've been prescribed Trulance and Linz's highest dosage for both, and neither of these medications are working very well for me at this point. I can pass a little bit of stool, but not much, so I'm constantly extremely backed up. I have to spend about half of my waking hours lying down because I'm so bloated and nauseous and often in pain. As far as OTC laxatives, nothing really works here. Dulcolax, enema, suppositories, magnesium citrate, nothing works. I was supposed to have colonoscopy today, but I couldn't keep the bowel prep down. The procedure had been rescheduled for a month from now, and one of the nurses at my GI office prescribed Bill Pace Cleanse. The pill is called Sutab, and I was warned ahead of time that patients often have trouble completely emptying their bowels with this pill. So, given my struggle, I'm doubtful that this will actually work for me. Here's my question. Has anyone here gone to the point where nothing works, meds or OTC laxatives, and had to come sort of in-office medical procedure done? I am so sick and so miserable. What about professional colonics? I'm not even sure how those work. So I'm going to answer that for this person. If anyone has any advice or experience with this, I'll be very grateful if you could share with me what ended up doing and the outcomes was like. Thanks. Okay. I'm going to go through some analogies real quick. Your digestive system is very similar to the plumbing in your house. If your garbage disposal stops working, you either gotta fix it yourself or have somebody come and fix it for you, because the garbage disposal is not working. There's so much waste material that is trapped. That means if you let it sit there, the smell is gonna evade your whole house. Your house is a series of pipes, plumbing system. Some people, they're clogged up in their toilet. Let's just say the children, they throw their favorite toys down their toilet, and now this water is not going down, right? And the toilet bowl is overflowing, and this person is pleading, they are praying this water to go down. They're like, no, 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 no. Well, that's what happens when you have chronic constipation. And think about the smell as it overflows. It's going to reek the entire bathroom, maybe an entire floor, until you resolve this. Let's talk about colon hydrotherapy. You got to do your research with this. This is something that you may want to look into, but you want to talk to an experienced colon hydrotherapist, and you want to give them your problem. Tell them exactly how many days you've been backed up. This is an apparatus you can sit on, and you just lay there, and what the colon hydrotherapist will do, they're going to put in hot water through your back end. A lot of people, they have hardened fecal matter inside this colon here, and they need to put in this hot water through the back end to start to loosen up this dead waste material, trying to escort it out of the body safely. Now, got to be careful with this, because some people, they're so impacted for a very, very long time. If the colon hydrotherapist, if this person is not experienced, they're putting in this water pressure too quick, well, you may have another problem, which is colon perforation. So there might be slight tears in the colon, and your waste material starts to go inside your other parts of the body, and you may experience sepsis shock. You may have to go to the ER. I'm not joking. You have to look at the risk. There is a risk if you do certain protocols that are out there. You have to know who you are, where you are in your own health recovery. And if it's not right for you, you have to find something else. There's a risk you do the protocol, and there's a risk if you do completely nothing. Because you know the problem's not going to go away. It's going to get progressively worse. Today I'm going to share with you the protocol that has helped me personally the last 5+ years. I do this on a weekly basis, and this is something that you drink down. This is not an enema. An enema is something that you put behind the back end. And this is just a detox solution. It's all liquid. After you mix it together in the proportions that I'll explain very, very clearly with y'all. I'm going to go very quickly with my social media to make sure there aren't any questions. So over here on Facebook, we're also live on Facebook. 0 views. Over here we're also on Instagram. Instagram cuts itself off after an hour. Checking all my Now, if you're on my Twitter, you can also leave some questions, and you want to leave them just in the comments below, and I'll get back to it when I can. And over here, if you're on my Twitch, you can also leave comments there. Sometimes I may be going the presentation, and you may have questions. I'll come back to these questions. I'm going to get some water before I proceed to the next part. These are the ingredients you need. You need sugar-free apple cider vinegar. Then you're going to use some type of citrus fruits. You can use limes, lemons, or grapefruit. I've been using grapefruit for a few years now. I think they're the best tasting because there's a little bit of sweetness to it. Next, you're going to buy some pink salt. You can also use food-grade Epsom salt. So write these down. You can use pink salt or food-grade Epsom salt. This is black coffee, no cream and sugar. And it's completely optional. You don't need to use black coffee. Next, you're going to get yourself a stainless steel. This will be a thermos. It's got to have a volume over 1 liter. So it's going to be something you're going to use week in and week out. I do this protocol every single week. Some of you may do it every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. But find your own rhythm. We're going to mix these ingredients and put it in the stainless steel thermos. And this is how we're going to do it. Well, the night before, you're finishing dinner around 7:30 p.m. You're not eating any late night snacks. You can still have liquids, but you're not eating. Keeping your stomach, just relax. The next morning, same thing. You're not eating any foods. You can still have some liquids, but you're not going to be eating any food. No breakfast. Around 11 a.m. on an empty stomach, you want to make this in your thermos. You want to add 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons of pink salt. Or you can use food-grade Epsom salt and put it in the thermos. Okay, put it in there. Then you're going to add and cut and squeeze 3 lemons or limes, or using 1 grapefruit, extracting the juices only, and you're going to put it in the stainless steel thermos. You can put it through a metal mesh strainer. It's up to you. I'm going to give you a screenshot here. You guys can get all these different ingredients and also the tools that you need. Get this plastic bottle of water. This is going to be about 2 liters in volume. This is a metal mesh strainer. And over here you have a single press squeezer. You have these measuring spoons. This one is a 1/4 cup, which is 60 ml. And you're going to have one here that is a tablespoon. Tablespoon is 15 ml. And the teaspoon is 5 ml. You're going to use this once, and you're going to use the teaspoon twice. So total, you're going to use a total of 25 ml. That's how you get it from. You're going to add a 1/4 cup apple cider vinegar. Then you're going to add 2.5 cups of hot water. Put it all into the stainless steel thermos and begin to stir it up. Okay? You got to get this solution You can stir it up for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, making sure everything dissolves properly. Next, you're going to add another cup of room temperature water and stir it up. You want to bring back down that temperature. So that's the sulfurous solution. You can make some hot coffee, just black coffee, and put it in the stainless steel thermos. I'll put it in the stainless steel cup, not in the thermos. This is only the sulfurous solution using these ingredients here, okay, with section of the coffee, and you're going to put it in the stainless steel thermos using these directions. You can screenshot this. So on your table, you have three objects. You have the water, roughly around 2 liters. You have the sulfurous solution, and you have the black coffee. This is how you drink it. Pay attention to this. You may find a lot of these videos online regarding the sulfurous protocol. And why are still people failing with it? Because they don't drink it in this fashion that I share with y'all. Number one, you're going to take a small sip of this water, hold it in your mouth, and you're going to drink a bigger gulp of the sulfurous solution, drink it down. Then you're going to sip on a tiny bit of black coffee, kind of reward yourself. Okay. Once again, you're going to take a tiny sip. Tiny sip. You're not drinking this, you're taking a tiny sip. Hold it in your mouth. Then you're going to take a bigger gulp of the sulfurous solution and drink it down. And you're going to take a tiny sip of this black coffee to kind of reward yourself. The goal is to put down the sulfurous solution first. You're not trying to put down the water and the sulfurous solution down in your stomach. That's way too much liquids. You're going to feel very, very bloated. Your goal is to put down the sulfurous solution first. You want to be as relaxed as possible, listening to some classical music, where you're doing some deep breathing exercises where you can feel your diaphragm, feel your stomach up and down, up and down. That's the rhythm you gotta have when you're doing this protocol. I got it written down here. Sip on the bottled water, hold it in your mouth. Take a bigger gulp of the sulfurous solution and drink it down. If it's that bad tasting for you, you can use a stainless steel straw and gradually drink down the sulfurous solution. Then you're going to slip on some black coffee, optional, repeating steps 1 through 3. The goal is to finish sulfurous solution first. Kind of let go of these expectations. You can take 45 minutes drinking this, you can take 1 hour, you can take an hour and a half. This is not a race. Some people, they drink this way too fast and they throw up. And I ask them, how fast did you drink this? Oh, I just try to finish in 15 minutes. No. You're going to give yourself 45 minutes, an hour, and an hour and a half. It doesn't matter. The goal is to put the sulfurous solution down, because when you first put it down, your stomach doesn't even know what it is, right? So it could be very, very anxious. You want to be as relaxed as possible. You're drinking the sulfurous solution down, and over time, the more relaxed you are, then the pyloric sphincter opens up. That sulfurous solution begins to work its way through the small intestine, this 4.5 meters, start to clean out this pipework first. There's a lot of garbage trapped in your small intestines for sure. Okay, I've done this protocol hundreds of times. I'm so surprised because, of course, throughout the week I'm still eating, right? So new trash could be accumulated. And over time, this waste material gets pushed into your large intestine and you begin to feel a bowel movement coming on. Here we have a poop milestone. You guys can screenshot this as well. You're going to feel some solids going to go, and you're going to go to the bathroom. That's how it's going to be. But you're never forcing anything out. Okay, you're just relaxed as you possibly can, deep breathing, and the solids are going to come out. Over time, once it gets, it's going to get softer and softer over time. Okay. We're clearing out this whole pipe. What pipe? We're clearing out this whole digestive tract. A lot of people, they have a lot of trash in this pipework. We're cleaning it out. We're completely cleaning it out. And over time, you experience soft poop. You get softer and softer and softer. Be completely relaxed and let that waste material exit out of your body. And when it gets really, really soft, talking about it's this brown water coming out, this is what I want you to do. I want you to pound on this water in a safe way, don't hurt yourself. I want to add more water pressure to your digestive tract so all that waste material, more waste material, can get cleaned out. What you experience is a diarrhea tsunami. It is a very, very foul smelling experience. And most people, when I share this with them, they don't believe me. They think that this is just exaggeration. You're going to blow up your toilet like you never had before. There is so much trash that is trapped within your digestive tract. And when you have this experience, you're like, wow, I had no idea I had so much waste material sitting inside of me. I'm still surprised on a weekly basis. I don't even know how to explain. All I can say is my health has gotten a lot better over the years, and I'll show you some before and after photos later. You guys want to look into this as well. This is called Squatty Potty. You don't have to buy this if you don't want. You just have to build yourself some type of a small little platform so they can elevate your feet, because your body is not designed to go to the bathroom at a 90 degree. A lot of people, they are having problems with their number twos, never a proper, complete movement of their number two because they've been sitting on this 90 degree. There are always these remnants of waste material just sitting at the very tail end of their colon, of their anus, and that inflammation starts to build up, right? There might be some itchiness, and then people are scratching, and now there's rectal bleeding. So look into this Squatty Potty. Before the invention of this modern toilet, everyone in the world went to their number two in a squatting position. And that's our goal. Our goal is to clean this out completely. You guys can watch my many other videos on my channel. I explain this process in detail. Another thing that you can do is actually lift up this toilet seat. That toilet seat is basically useless. You just clean your toilet, alright? And you can sit on that toilet directly without the toilet seat. The toilet seat has a way of squeezing your butt cheeks, which does not help when you're trying to get the waste material out of the body easily. And you can try this too. I've done it for years now, and it's just a much easier way for that bowel movement to move through out of the body. Even if you do not use my protocol, you can choose yourself a Squatty Potty or build yourself one, and you can notice a big difference in the exit at the number two. It's just a much easier way. In Asia, we have a lot of squat toilets, and the difference is night and day. And after you do this protocol, okay, you just want to eat some probiotics. You don't have to buy these, just find something that works for you. Kind of recoat back up your digestive tract with some probiotics. So when you start to eat food again, it helps to break down that food, help to assimilate it back into your systems. In the beginning of this presentation, I went over a lot of different diseases: toxic megacolon, a colon that is displaced, diverculitis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, rectal prolapse. If you do not want to see a proctologist, if you don't want to experience any anal fissures, hemorrhoids, and have these comments, all that internal stress that comes to chronic constipation, you gotta just take a quick look at human physiology. I am trying to clean out this pipework on a weekly basis, and that's been the foundation to my health recovery. A lot of people don't know who I am or what I do. My name is John, just another regular guy, and over the years I had a lot of chronic constipation. Even though I was working out hard at the gym, I still had crazy amount of fat that would not go away. Okay, and even though I had a personal trainer, I was eating right to the best of my ability. But when your body is inflamed from chronic constipation, you're holding on to fat. Doesn't matter what you do. And you're gonna experience that 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It's a horrible existence. Here's another photo. It's a photo of me, and Back then, I always felt kind of ashamed, for putting on a bathing suit because I had this big belly. I was in Southern California at the time, in San Diego, and just about everybody down there, a lot of people there, they got that six pack. And this is what I wanted on the right hand side. I wanted to get that six pack. I could not get it. But now, for the last couple of years, I always have a six pack. Okay, this is what I basically look at all year round. All year round, I have a six pack. And it's from just working on my inside, not just working out. Some people say that, oh, this is because you're very determined, you go to the gym. It's none of that. Let me tell y'all, for the last couple of years, I have not even been going to the gym. I just work out, go into the park, go for some runs, and I come back home. I got some weights in my own home. I start doing some weights, do some calisthenics, I do some stretchings, that's it. Now, over here on the left-hand side, I was still eating relatively healthy. The nutrition hasn't changed all that much. It's not about the nutrition. If you want to restore your body functions, if you want your metabolism to go through the roof, you want to take care of your digestive system. You want to get the waste material out. Once you get the waste material out of the body, your body begins to flow. Okay? It begins to recover. It begins to slim down. That's what I'm talking about. I want you guys to kind of challenge me. You guys have any questions? That's perfectly fine. Just let me know what are you currently struggling with. I'm doing these videos. I like to share with you guys things that have worked for me and hundreds of other people have helped us with. That's what recover. And that's basically the first part of detox. Get this pipework cleaned out. And there's so many other things, exciting things I'll be sharing with you guys in the future. I'm going to talk about it now because I have a little bit of time. You guys need to learn about parasites. Once you have the confidence of doing this first protocol, which is cleaning out the small and large intestines, you want to learn about different parasites that could be in your body right now. And they're causing all sorts of inflammation. This is the liver fluke. This is pinworms, tapeworms, and roundworms. Learn about their life cycles. What type of foods are you eating right now that could be potential risks, right? Some people, they're very fancy. They go to 5-star restaurants and they serve raw food. They call it steak tartars. There's a French version, there's a Korean version, and people like to eat a lot of intestine products. I can promise you, anybody that work with these products on a daily basis, they have to clean them out because they're full of parasites. Sushi, sashimi, also full of parasites as well. A lot of parasites can end up in your pets. Look up this keyword, it's called zoonotic diseases. Simply, there are diseases that can transfer from your animals to you. For those of you that own pets, that like to eat raw steaks, medium rare steaks, raw fish, okay, raw foods. You're traveling a lot in Southeast Asia. You may be drinking contaminated water full of parasites. Well, let me tell you what, that's going to cause stress to your body. And the tapeworm is extremely problematic because the tapeworm is hermaphrodite. All it needs is continue to suck and extract your nutrients, basically, your nutritional value. And it continues to multiply. I have separate videos on this in regards to internal parasites and how they work. You guys need to know your enemy well, so you know how to get rid of them. But you can't just be like, oh, I learned about parasites, now I'm going to take a lot of different medications or herbs to get rid of them. That could be a key, but you got to learn how to flush out the dead parasites out of your body. There are different medications and herbal blends for this, but until you know how to clean out this pipework, all that dead parasite's going to sit inside of you, and that's going to cause more problems. You got to solve problems one at a time. Okay, and this is the order that I helped myself over the years. So one, I clean out this pipework. Next, I eliminated internal parasites. Next, I flush out gallstones out of the gallbladder. That's another upgrade. In the last couple of weeks, I've been learning about how to work with this kidney detox tea that I've been drinking it on a daily basis. That's what I've been doing to recover my health. Of course, I'm very excited for the future now because my health has recovered tremendously. Whether that is body slimming down naturally, having a six-pack all year around. I used to have sinus problems. That went away. So I'm sleeping very well now. No more nasal congestion. My body used to be very, very stiff, extremely stiff. It did not matter if my massage therapist was working with me. It doesn't matter if I was stretching out throughout the week. My body was also very, very stiff. Now my body is just very loose all the time. I think it has a lot to do with me cleaning out myself on the inside. Not only did I clean out the small and large intestines, I clean out removing internal parasites on a regular basis. I learned about their life cycle. I learned that, well, there are a lot of different medications or herbal blends that only target the adult parasites. They don't target small little larvae, or they don't target the eggs, right? So sometimes you're gonna have to work with these different herbal blends or medications continually because you have to wait for these eggs to hatch. Then you can get rid of them. On top of that, you're working a nutritional plan so you don't keep on eating and ingesting more new parasites. A lot of people don't talk about that. Then getting rid of the gallstones out of the gallbladder, I've done it 43 times. Today I just completed another round liver cleanse. So I know these protocols through and through, not just from intellectual theorizing about these things, but I can definitively say there's just a lot of trash in your system right now. Unbelievably so. Every single week I'm still shocked at the amount of material that comes out of me. Doesn't matter what type of protocols I'm doing, I'm like, wow, I'm glad I'm getting this waste material out. And now I'm working with the kidney detox to alleviate the stress. There could be kidney stones, different oxalate stones that could be gradually flushed out. I want to learn about these things. And if you are on this detox journey, I want to connect with you. I want to learn about your different protocols that you're doing to improve your own personal health. Here on this channel, we're about detox. It's about getting the waste material out of the body. A lot of people are just focusing on supplementation. Supplementation, it's like, oh, you're missing this, you're missing that. What you gotta do is take these supplements, these different vitamins, these minerals to help your body recover. There was a season in my life, I used to think about that as well. There was always something missing. I know there are people, their cabinets are full of supplements that are continually sick. Currently, I'm on this other end of the spectrum, like I'm just trying to get the waste material out. I think about my body mechanically. Rather than a collection of symptoms, I need to resolve using medications. When I think about my body, I think about there was a time I had to fix my car. I had a very old car and I fixed it myself. And I learned a lot through that process. There are these magazines or car manuals. They're called Jones and Haynes, where if you go to Auto Parts, O'Reilly Auto Parts, AutoZone, they have these manuals that you can buy for the car. And when I think about my liver, before I had no idea the functions of the liver. I did not understand it at all. And now I'm like, I have confidence in cleaning it out because I've realized, well, the liver is just a filter. The human body, the adult human body, has about 1.5 gallons of blood, okay? But every single day, that 1.5 gallons goes through all your organs. Your filtering organs, primarily, it's going to be your liver, your kidneys, and your spleen. Now, if your liver is in trouble, if it's very, very congested, that means the blood is not filtering through properly. Once I thought about that, I connected with the car that I was fixing. I had a very old car, and I was going through the manual. It's like, well, this is how you change your oil, right? So the liver is kind of like an oil filter I needed to clean out. And you got to unplug the battery. And when you change your oil, you're not just changing your oil, you're also changing out the filter. Same thing if you're dealing with your fuel filter, you're changing out the filter. Okay? And having that perspective is like, okay, I really do not want a liver transplant. I really do not want a kidney transplant. What can I do to improve the conditions of my internal organs so I can avoid that completely? There are protocols that are out there. They know how to get these gallstones out of the gallbladder. Okay? And I think a lot of people, they are very congested in their gallbladder, which will cause more digestive problems because the gallbladder is where you store bile. Bile is very important to help you break down fats. Now, if you are having trouble breaking down fats, then you're going to have a tough time assimilating fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin A, D, E, and K. Some people, they just wait too long. They have a gallbladder fully congested, and they have to go for the gallbladder surgery and remove the whole gallbladder together. What we're looking at in this photo is this part right here, the gallbladder. And if you want to avoid that, there are protocols that are out there for you to learn. The book that I learned all this from is from Andreas Moritz, Liver and Gallbladder Cleanse, Miracle Cleanse, something like that. And you guys can find these books online and go through them and find out, hey, is this the right thing for me? Is it going to be a walk in the park? No. There's going to be some slight discomfort along the way, yes. But what kind of discomfort do I want to have going forward? Earlier in this presentation, we went over a lot of constipation woes people are having. And they tried this, that, and the third. Basically, all these different medications stopped working. They're having hemorrhoid problems, anal fissures. They're listening to their proctologists, rectal prolapse, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, severely colon that is displaced, a toxic megacolon. Listen, y'all, what is the common denominator? Fix this. Get the waste material out of the body. I don't know what you have to do to get this waste material out. Today I share with you, what's worked for me. And I'm going to leave a link to my program below so you guys can get all those details about the self-filter protocol and how I go about it. I've explained it very well in this presentation. You guys can probably just use this presentation and that will be a great cornerstone so you know what to do every step of the way. But I just want to share with y'all that there are a lot of interesting, amazing topics that I will share with y'all. For example, you got to get rid of your internal parasites in the future. At some point, you got to know this is not a third world problem, this is a first world problem too. Internal parasites are everywhere. People can see them just buying fish at their Whole Foods. Woman finds parasites in salmon at Whole Foods. This is a more upscale grocery store where people are finding worms at Costco. Now, when you're cooking fish, you never like to eat them overcooked. So when foods are not properly cooked through, you're eating parasites to a certain degree. You gotta flush them out because this is not Animal Planet right here. We're not looking at a zoo. We're looking at a human colon, and they're removing that much waste material. This is not just waste, these are roundworms. They're called ascaris. So people are experiencing stomach cramps and pain, nausea, weight gain or loss, swollen lymph nodes, digestive problems, unexplained constipation, diarrhea, persistent gas, skin conditions, rashes, eczema, hives, and itching. These parasites, they survive and thrive inside of you, continue to replicate inside of you. One thing they also do is that they have to poop inside of you as well. Their waste material keeps on recycles through your whole body, and you wonder why you continue to have these skin conditions. You wonder why you still have all these digestive problems. You wonder why you have chronic constipation. If you have that many worms in your colon right now, how's the poop supposed to exit out of your body? There are so many things that are off our radar screen, different risks that are beyond our radar screen. And I want us to educate ourselves, these potential risks, so we can look at them in a different light and learn how we can solve them going forward. And the earlier you can recognize these risks, the better. So you can say, okay, I think what John is talking about is making a lot of sense. I want to learn how I can clean out the small and large intestines. He teaches me that, well, the digestive system is just a very long piece of pipework. I'm going to challenge him on that. I want to learn and really learn this for myself if this is the case. I'm going to go buy some books on human physiology. I'm going to talk to some Chinese medicine. I'm going to talk to some Western medicine. I'm going to talk to my naturopathic doctors, some integrated medicine. Is this what they're saying? Is this really what the digestive system is? And go through the trivium, right? And so you had the knowledge base for yourself. Maybe you are a medical student and you're working with cadavers. You're doing these dissections. You can really see this for yourself. What I'm talking about is the truth. What I love about learning the human body is that it helps me develop a different set of eyes for people. You know, the level of respect and kindness, or just everybody is the same on the inside. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a mentor, he told me that, hey, I want to make the world a kinder and happier place, right? And that learning about human physiology really helps me do that. And on top of that, I think it's very helpful. I learned how to clean out my own body, working on my own personal health, and now I'm helping other people to do the same thing. And that helps me to live a very fulfilling life. You know, when you can see people, they're very extremely grateful for the work that you've done. So on the Instagram, they only give you an hour for the live stream. But over the years, people have sent me so many testimonials in Chinese, in English. You know, they've helped their own family members, their own parents. And all I can say is I'm very grateful for you guys. And I want you guys to keep on doing them. This is not something that you do. It's just kind of like, oh, I'm going to do this every once in a while. No, you're going to do this very, very consistently. Find your own rhythm, and it's got to be on your calendar. Going to get on your calendar so you do it. Because there are only 52 weeks in a year. You want to take every opportunity you can. If you're doing every other week, so you're doing 26 detox protocols per year, right? For me, I do them every week. Every single week, I'm doing some type of a protocol. All 52 weeks are accounted for. I schedule all my other events around these protocols. And that's what's really helped me to regain back my health. And it's not just like a physical, got a good looking six-pack abs. That is part of it, right? My hair started to grow back out. What else do I have? Just the mental clarity that I experience throughout the day. the energy that you have, the optimism you have for the future, hard work and consistency, okay? A lot of comments, and I look forward to hearing from y'all. I also have one-on-one coaching available for those of you are interested in one-on-one coaching. We can get on a coaching call. I want to find out where you are currently, and if that stuff interests you, you want to improve upon your own personal health, you've already been down this rabbit hole of medications, you've been seeing this particular specialist here, that doctor there, but these problems persist. Not only do they persist, they're getting worse. You got to find a different path for you. So I want to thank all of you for watching this video. Maybe you're not on this call right now. You're watching this video later. It's perfectly fine, but I still want to hear from you in the comments below. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. If you got any questions, reach out to me on my Instagram, The Real John Chow. Reach out to me in my comments below. I could create a whole separate presentation for specific topics that you're interested in, and we'll kind of go from there. And I'll talk to you soon. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. God bless.